So today, what I'm going to be going through is using the bounce back strategy, yes, in bounce back, but also for the harmonic scanner as well, right? So last week, for those of you, well, all of you really should be in my bounce back group chat, my channel on Telegram. And in there, I actually give out the bounce back setups, right? So for those of you who don't quite understand what my lines are, because I have them color coded, I would actually run through how I actually set up the trays to send them out to you guys, so you will understand exactly what it is we're looking to achieve. So that's the first thing. Then I'm going to actually run through it using the harmonic scanner as well, because one of the setups that I actually sent out last week on Euro GBP that went to the moon was from the harmonic scanner. And all I did was that I applied the bounce back strategy to the harmonic scanner trade, and I sent it to you guys, telling you guys wait for the trend line to break, MACD line to cross, and going for the buy, right? So we're going to be running through that today. So like that's why I mentioned to you guys, just share the link, because somebody out there would need to hear this information. So so I'm going to go ahead now and share my screen. Great. So if you were on my call last week and previous calls, you would have heard me saying that every time you get a trade on bounce back, to transfer it to trading view. That is important. The reason being is that all the bounce back trades do not happen the same time. I know a lot of you guys be looking for bounce back to happen sometimes the same time or within the same day, and that does not happen. Sometimes it takes 4 days, 5 days, which was the situation with gold last week, because the previous week gold has sent out a sell, and then it continued buying. And what I showed you guys in the channel was an updated trend line on gold. So all I did was kept moving my trend line. So finally, when the trend line broke, then we were in for a good sell. So let's start off with let's look at the update of USD CAD actually. USD CAD that we got, I think this was on Sunday night or yesterday. No, it was Sunday. So let's look at the update of USD CAD. Right. Bounce back. Right. So this is the update of USD CAD. Like I mentioned, obviously this trade came out around here, 9th of June. I think that was on Sunday. So let's just mark that area. So it came out around here is where the trade actually came out, and I drew the trend line. A lot of you were confused as to why is I drew my trend line from here rather than drawing my trend line from here to down here, right? No, the reason why I drew my trend line from so far up, right, is that remember in bounce back, if you're going to buy the trade, you want to identify your downtrend. A clean downtrend that has higher lows and higher highs, or sorry, lower highs and lower lows. Getting confused. So you want to identify a clean downtrend of lower highs and lower lows, right? Now, if you pull your trend line, right? If you put your trend line, bounce back call the trade here for a buy, and you put your trend line just here, you're not identifying lower highs and lower lows. That's not a downtrend. That's a move that happened. That's a move that happened, and then the trade is just flagging, right? So for me, this is not a suitable trend line. All right. So you want to identify the entire trend, right? Which I have done here. So you see that I actually brought my trend line from here, touching this high and coming all the way down. And I told you guys to wait for trend line to break, right? No, I didn't adjust this. I didn't move it. This is where I just put it here. Wait for trend line to break. As you can see, the trade consolidated for the majority of Sunday into Monday. And then we got the break down here. Now, even if you got the break, let's look. So you got the break, the trend line here. Now, I mentioned to you guys that it would be useful for you if you added the 50 moving average line to your bounce back, right? 50 moving average line is what I mentioned on previous calls, and also on a trade training that I put on Facebook as well. Not on Facebook, on YouTube, right? The 50 moving average line, so it's actually the exponential moving average line, right? I use that, and the reason being is that this is why I think it comes in very, very handy, right? Now, when the trade actually breaks your trend line, you need the trade to correspond with everything, right? So yes, you will notice, so let me zoom in. You will notice that USD CAD brought the trend line around here, right? But it continued to fall. And therefore, if you had your stop loss underneath the last low, which would have been here, it is likely that you would have been taken out of the trade before it actually took off, right? It's likely that the stop loss would have hit before it took off. This is why I implemented the 50 moving average line. This is why I told you guys to add the 50 moving average line to your bounce back. Because when you draw a trend line, right? When you draw a trend line, you want that the trade then eventually moves and comes above your 50 moving average line if bounce back is calling for a buy. So if bounce back is telling me buy USD CAD, right? USD CAD broke my trend line, but it was still within that. If you notice, let me do this from this perspective. I am just going to remove everything and we're going to do it from here, right? First thing I want us to look at is structure, right? So let's look at structure. So first, I have a terrible cough. Anyway, so let's look at structure here, right? And you can see how the trade is actually just bouncing in between this range, this zone, right? So you can see how it's ranging in between this zone. So as much as my trend line was drawn from here to down here, right? As much as this was my trend line, that was my trend line. Let me just bring it slightly more. This was where my trend line was, right? So as much as my trend line was drawn here, you could see that I actually broke my trend line, right? It is actually still within this range. This is why the 50 moving average line works out really well corresponding with the MACD, right? You had a range here and you see that how the trade was actually moving in between the 50 moving average line and majority of the time also underneath the 50 moving average line. The line was actually flat. So you can see that the line is flat here. We have a flat line indicating a range, right? Now you can't even tell what's happening here with the MACD because it's just tangled up into the histogram and so on and so forth. So there's no clear indication of anything. Hence, the trade is actually ranging. What you want to look for is, as much as you look for the break, your next confirmation after the break of the trend line will be for the trade to break above your 50 moving average line. That would have been your confirmation there to get into the trade. And look what it did. The MACD also gave you that cross around the same area that it brought above your 50 moving average line. And there and then, right off the bat, the trade actually went up about 49 to 50 pips. 50 pip trade, right? Just from using 3 confirmations here. So it broke your trend line. You got solid body candle breaking your trend line above your 50 moving average line, and also crossing with your histogram on the MACD. So if you don't have your 50 moving average line for a bounce back, please look to add it in. How do you add it in? Let's do that now. So you're going to come to indicators and strategies here at the top. Let me, 1 second. Good. You're going to come here to the top where I click indicators and strategies, and you're going to type in EMA, right? You're going to look for moving average exponential, right? Moving average exponential, you're going to click on that. You just need to click once, right? Close it, and then you're going to see it over here on the right hand side. Come to the settings tab on it and go to inputs and change the input to 50. And then you can come to style and change it to whatever color you want it to be, right? You can change it to whatever color you want it to be, and then try to increase the thickness as well so that you can see clearly. You can see the line clearly on your chart, right? There you go. That's the 50 moving average line. So I hope that that was clear for everybody, right? So if you understood everything that I have done there, please type in the chat box clear. Good stuff. Good stuff. Fantastic. Good. So don't forget, I obviously want you guys to be profitable, so that's why I gave you the 50 moving average there. So let's look at the other one that bounced back would have sent out, the Euro JPY. So it says sell on Euro JPY, right? Around 122.810 on time frame 240, which is the 4-hour time frame. So sell on Euro JPY around 122.810. So we're gonna go to Euro JPY. Right, I'm gonna remove it because we're gonna do it together. So we're gonna go Euro JPY, and it's 122.810 on the 4-hour time frame. All right. So we're gonna use a horizontal ray to identify where 122.810 is. Right. Anywhere on the chart is where you're gonna put your horizontal ray, and then just change the settings of the ray by going to the settings box and clicking on coordinates and entering in the price. You guys should know how to do this. 122.810. Let me just change my color. There we go. Great. So this is where Bounceback wants you to sell, right? On the 4-hour time frame. So we're gonna drop 2 time frames down, which is to the 30-minute. And like I said, we want to identify the trend, right? We really want to identify the trend. So we can clearly see this is an uptrend here, right? This is an uptrend. So I'm going to even start from here, and I'm just going to bring it to the top like that, right? So this is my trend line here. This is what I'm looking for to break, right? So we're still waiting. We're still waiting. But even if it breaks, remember, we're identifying structure. So you guys should be able to see that we're ranging, we're moving sideways here, right? Even if the trade had to break and continue sideways, we're still within that range. So remember that we're looking for the trade, we're looking for price to break below our 50 moving average as well to confirm that we want to get into this trade for the sell. Right now, everything is still above our 50 moving average line. All right. Good. So remember that if the trade is called on the 4-hour, you're going to enter on the 15-minute. So the note that I put here for you guys is that I tell you wait for trending to break. But what I'm going to change that to is wait for TL to break and under 50 EMA, so that you guys know exactly what it is you're looking for with regards to confirmations. All right. So wait for TL to break under 50 EMA. No, if trend had to break no and it had to cross under the 50 EMA, your stop loss will be nice and tight. We'll be putting our stop loss above the last high, which in this case will be here. Nice and tight. All right, not over here. You could if you want to have a bigger stop loss. You don't need to. We just rest it just above this high, right? Just above this high. So, and then and basically then we would take the sell on. Now, where would our profit points be for your JPY? Now remember, for take profit, I always look at structure, right? Zoom out, look and see where is structure, right? Where is structure? So we got some structure here. All we are looking for is support and resistance. If you don't know what support and resistance, you need to go back over IML basics, the academy. There we go. So why did I identify this zone? You have support here where the trade is bouncing and reverse, bounce and reverse, breaks through, uses it as resistance. So you can see support. We got support, support, resistance, 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 and then obviously support and resistance here as well. So this to me is a very key area. When the trade comes down here, I expect it to pause, right? So this will be a take profit point for me in this trade, and this is just me looking at it on the 30-minute time frame, right? So this will be a take profit point. You could take your profit at the top of this box, in the middle, wherever, but this is a zone. I don't look at support and resistance no longer as a line, but always as a zone, because it could obviously go and test anywhere within that zone, right? Total number of pips there would have been, let's see, across below here, just about 50 pips, right? But remember, you guys would have your own pip plan, right? You have your own pip plan. So your pip plan might be that you're only looking for 20 pips in a day. Just because the potential with this trade is 50 pips don't mean that you should be greedy and put a 50 pip take profit. If your plan, your trading plan is 20 pips, then just take 20 pips from this trade. If your trading plan is 15 pips, then just take 15 pips in this trade. Remember that when we started out bounce back, I told you guys always look to secure 15 pips first, right? And then if you want to continue to ride the rest of the trade, then feel free to do that. But always try to secure 15 pips or to bounce back. Remember that the bounce back trades are not necessarily long term, they're short term trades. All right. So 20 pips will just put you, you know, just below this little support area here as well. So like I say, follow your plan. Please do not get greedy. All right. So everybody got that. If you got that, just type in the chat box clear. Good stuff. Don't be greedy. Yes, Melanie. Clear. Awesome. Good. So the last thing that I'm going to go through now, let's just look at time, see what we have. 10 minutes. So the last thing I'm going to go through is the harmonic scanner. Using the harmonic scanner now with bounce back. So let me look for a trade. Any setup. It could be on a 15-minute time frame as well, huh? Any setup. But of course, look for a decent setup. Always look for a decent setup. That's what I try to do. All right. Let's get one that looks a little ready. And that one is already gone. All right, we're gonna go with Euro USD for this sell, right? Euro USD for this sell. No, you don't have to directly draw the pattern on TradingView. When you take this trade over to TradingView, all you need to do is just identify where they're telling to take your profit, right? So that you can identify the profit points on your TradingView, or just look for structure, right? So this is a sell that we're looking for with the harmonic scanner, right, on the 1 hour time frame. So same thing. That's what trade that is. EU. Yes, that's EU. So let's go to EU. All right, 1 hour time frame. Harmonic scanner looking for a sell right back to here. Right? Yeah, she's looking for a sell back to here. So what we're gonna do? Identify a trend. You want to identify a trend, right? So come from here. So I draw a trend line, right? To identify an uptrend, I draw a trend line. And I'm going to come down 2 time frames to my 15-minute time frame, right? Now remember, harmonic scanner called a sell, right? This is my trend line. I'm waiting for it to break my trend line, right? So for here, my note would be wait for TL break and under 50 EMA, right? Nice and easy. Voila, right? That's all we're waiting for. We're waiting for the trade to break our trend line and also be under our 50 moving average line, right? Then we're looking for the MACD to also correspond with it. So the MACD needs to break below our histogram, right? So everything needs to line up. Everything needs to line. It's the same thing, same principle, right? Everything just needs to line up. So I'm just gonna type it out. So you're gonna 3 things, right? Wait for TL to break, right? Wait for trade to be under 50 EMA and MACD line histogram. Nice and simple. Boom. That's all you're waiting for there. Literally, that's how you could trade the harmonic scanner as well, right? Same concept. All you need to do is come over to TradingView and draw a trend line. Wait for it to break. Wait for it to also break under your 50 moving average line. Wait for the MACD line to cross and you're good to go. Easy, right? So that's your notes. If you want to go ahead, you want to take a little screenshot of that, you can. Right, there you go. That's your notes. And your take profit areas, you remember that you're looking for structure. So let's look for structure here. I could see a reversal here. Right, so let's see. We got this, and all of this in one area, right? So there and then, I'm going to get my box. And this will be my take profit zone. Right? This will be my take profit zone. Don't play with me. Let's bring up slightly a little bit. There we go. Take profit zone. Easy so. Right? So when it breaks trend line, potential pip count, 18 pips. Not bad. All you need to do is wait for all of your confirmations to line up, and you're good to go. All right, guys, so that's how you could trade the Harmonic scanner. So if Bounceback is quiet for the day, please don't forget to check the Harmonic scanner. It's one of the company's best products out there along with Bounceback. So please to ensure that you use that going forward, right? Really, really good. I'm going to start the recording so that you